Hi, welcome all. In this video, we're discussing C-drama Overdo Zhang Linghe sick and hurt scene of all
Murongchini is a
episodes.
child who has lived a tragic fate since he was young. It turns out he was a swapped child, so he grew up in an environment where he didn't belong. Instead of receiving affection, Chini constantly faced harsh treatment from people who didn't value him. There was only one person who cared for him, and that was Ren Susu. She became the only figure who truly cared for Chini when no one else would take his side. But that happiness didn't last long because one day Ren Susu suddenly disappeared. Years later, Ren Susu finally reappeared as his own brother's fiancé. Ren Susu was apparently carrying out a plan for revenge. At that time, they discovered a group of girls who had been victims of kidnapping. Murongchini and Ren Susu chose to work together to save the victims. That was when Murongchini was severely injured. His body collapsed immediately with very serious wounds. Ren Susu was truly shocked to see the person she still loved lying there. The doctor announced that the surgery was successful, but Chini had not yet regained consciousness and had to remain in a coma for some time. Ren Susu continued to accompany Murongchini because she felt he shouldn't have been injured so badly. And when Murongchini woke up, he acted spoiled toward Ren Susu, as if he really wanted her attention. But that's understandable, since Murongchini is also head over heels for her. While still undergoing treatment at the hospital, Chini's condition declined again due to a high fever. His body was still very weak. Fortunately, after receiving treatment, he finally regained consciousness. Beside Murongchini's bed was his eldest brother, Murongchinu. Ren Susu was also there, having suddenly entered the room even though he had just woken up and his face was still pale. Murongchinu's original personality had clearly not faded. Instead of focusing on resting, he looked for excuses to get Ren Susu's attention. Chini's behavior certainly made the atmosphere awkward. After all, at the time, Ren Susu was still officially his brother's fiancé. Without saying much, his brother asked the doctor to come and check on his younger brother's condition. After that, his brother took Ren Susu out of the room. Even so, Murongchini's attention toward Ren Susu never wavered. When Ren Susu was in a dangerous situation again, Murongchini recklessly left the hospital even though the doctor hadn't cleared him. That decision, of course, caused his wounds to become problematic again. Meanwhile, his brother finally discovered the truth about Ren Susu's identity and the reason behind her arrival. After finding that out, his brother was absolutely furious, especially when he realized that his brother had already known all the facts, yet chose to keep them a secret from everyone. To his brother, his siblings' actions were considered too dangerous and could bring major trouble to the whole family. On the other hand, Murongchini had her own reasons, but her brother was truly disappointed and decided that once she recovered, he would send her abroad. This drama is truly emotional, but if you ask which part is the most heartbreaking, I think this is one of them. After going through so much, Jingyu finally stood at the altar with the woman he truly loved. Their smiles looked sincere. Their gazes were full of hope in front of their family and loved ones. The two of them officially began their new lives as a married couple, which makes it even sadder. No one expected that their happiness would only last for a short while. Moments after the wedding vows were finished, a distressing sound was suddenly heard and the object headed toward Jingyu, striking him right in the heart. His body, which had been standing tall, instantly lost all its strength as he shielded his bride. The ones whose hearts were truly shattered were his family, especially his younger brother, who was in total shock seeing his brother lying helpless. The person who had protected him all this time, the only one who always shielded him, was now leaving. So the virus that made the student sick and die was not just an ordinary incident. The virus was intentionally created by the Jing family's enemy to destroy the family. Worse yet, anyone to get the antidote had to cooperate with the enemy, Nahini. And unfortunately, Jingyi turned out to be infected as well. At first, he desperately tried to hide his condition from Ren Susu, but as time passed, his condition became harder to conceal. He started coughing and his body grew weak. There was even blood coming out from his painful chest. Until finally Jingyi's voice from inside the room was heard by Susu. Susu immediately realized that something was wrong. Instead of leaving, she recklessly went inside. Even though Jingyi tried to tell her to stay away, Jingyi himself knew that his condition could endanger Susu. He even tried to keep his illness a secret because if others found out, their situation could become even more chaotic. But Susu insisted on staying there and caring for Jingyi. For about 4 days, Susu truly took care of Jingyi. Jingyi's condition involved a high fever that kept fluctuating. He lost consciousness several times and fell into a coma. Jingyi even remained in a coma for about 45 minutes. She even prayed to God, asking for safety and luck for Jingyi, the man she loved most. And finally, on the 4th day, Jingyi's fever began to gradually subside, and his consciousness slowly returned to normal. After days of being in critical condition, they finally made it through it all. Just like most Republican-era dramas. So don't hope for much of a happy ending. Especially Lebose, who already makes one emotional, turned out to become even more villainous because of his father's affairs. Until eventually he had the heart to shoot Jingyi, making him fall and lie there helplessly. Ren Susu, seeing the incident, immediately panicked and rushed over to Jingyi, especially since she saw that Jingyi's condition looked truly dire. But Lebose's fate didn't last long either. He finally passed away after getting involved in a clash. And not just him, his assistant Qingyi also lost his life. So toward the end, the people around Qingyi were truly leaving one by one. The climax happened in the final fight between Qingyi and the man in glasses, one of his enemies. Their fight was fierce until Qingyi was struck by heavy machinery. Then things got even more chaotic because of an explosion. The man in glasses finally died, but Qingyi was also in a very weak condition. In his final moments, his vision began to see the figures who had already passed on. There was his older brother, his brother's wife, his assistant, and also Libo's. Meanwhile, Ren Susu was still running, searching for Qingyi. She didn't know that Qingyi was at his very limit. Yeah, just watch for yourselves to see how the ending plays out.